Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Christmas Eve. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, JC Parets. Steve Strazza is going to call in today. I think he's like on the road or in a hotel, or he's doing his great end of year road trip. So Steve will call in a few minutes as well. What's going on today? Last show before Christmas, obviously. We'll talk about some highlights from JC's conference call last night. We won't give away all the goods because you had to be there, right? I think there was like 172 charts last night, which is a lot. And that if you had the over, then you won the bet. I don't know what the over under was, but it was the over. So we'll go through a couple of those. It's a very quiet morning out there. The markets, right? Not a lot going on. Christmas Eve, half day today. PSA, don't forget. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for the show. We'll have Kenny Glick on. We'll have Jeff Weiss on. He was kind enough to send over a few charts, and we'll see where that gets us. How about that? Everyone off to a good start today? I think so. Let's hit the like button and get this show on the road.
Oh, we out here. Spencer Israel. Today is Noche Buena. Are you familiar with the Noche Buena?
Noche Buena. It's what? It's a good afternoon. What is it? Good afternoon? That's no, I don't know what. I'm gonna stop talking.
Noche Buena translates into good and night. Noche means night. Buena means good.
Okay.
And for Cubans and other cultures, Christmas Eve is actually the bigger celebration, the more important holiday. Like I didn't quite realize this as a kid, but growing up as a kid, like Christmas was an afterthought. Like we'd wake up and open presents and everything like that, but then it was like we ordered Chinese food. Like there was like it wasn't like
Really?
a big to do. Yeah, and then like I move up to Connecticut to go to college, and I'm hanging out with other cultures, Irish and Italians and things like that. And Christmas is the bigger deal. Christmas Eve is less of a bigger deal, but for us, Noche Buena is the night, right? So I got, dude, you know what the butcher did? Because I was late in ordering the I wanted to get a pork shoulder, because I'm not doing the whole pig, I'm just gonna do the paleta. And they ran out of the pork shoulders with the skin. And if you know anything about us crazy Cubans, the skin is very, very important. So you know what the butcher did? He cut off the skin from one of the hams and he put the ham skin on the pork butt.
Well, same animal. So
yeah, it's a different part of the animal, but it's the same idea, and you're gonna take the skin off anyway, right? So genius. Clearly,
right.
I'm just amateur. I told a
I had
few
no
people about
idea
that, and they
that-
were like, "Yeah, that makes sense." I was like, "Whoa, okay, I'm new to this."
I had no idea that Cubans celebrated Christmas Eve more than Christmas.
Yeah, for sure. Christmas Eve, Noche Buena. Not just Cubans, but other cultures as well. It's like
No
that.
idea.
But yeah, you spend all day roasting a pig in the cajachina. Alfonso says Latin America in general is like that. So there you go.
I learned something new today. I did not know
but
this.
listen, and the move for the Jews, right? I have a lot of respect for the Jewish community. The best Jews find a good Cuban household to crash on Noche Buena, right? Like if you go to Miami and you just go to random like houses, you'll find like Jews sprinkled around like there for the eats. You know what I'm saying? So mad respect for the Jews that figured out that trick.
I do have to say, I feel like the idea of Jewish Christmas has been appropriated by other cultures. The Jews no longer own the movies to Chinese food combo on Christmas. I feel like every minority has copied us, and now they all do it, right?
Yeah.
Like the secret's out. It used to be just the Jews did that, but now I talk to other people and they do it too. You just said you do it. So
yeah, I mean, growing up, we did it. I don't do it now because now I got Italians on the other side of the family. So now, Christmas is a bigger deal, which is great. Don't get me, I'm all for it. I'd rather just have like another Noche Buena with a different culture than ordering Chinese food that you could do anytime of the.
True.
And my parents weren't like culinary, like they would just rather order Chinese food than like make a big to do about it. I'm different like that. I like to cook. So.
I'm excited for Christmas because out here in the Northeast, it's snowing right now. We haven't had a white Christmas, JC. I Googled it this morning since 2009. It's been
Wow.
15 years since we've had a white Christmas in New York or New Jersey. So
How about that? You know
how
what that
about
means?
that?
That means another great financial crisis is coming.
Hey
Recession right
now.
around the corner.
All right. Hey, Steve is here. You want to say hi to Steve?
Yes.
Hey
Yo.
guys.
Hey, where are you? Are you like in Georgia or something?
No, I'm in Jacksonville.
All right, so yeah, kind of like Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, in an undisclosed Marriott parking lot. So what's going on? Merry Christmas, boys.
Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Noche Buena to you, dude.
You know-
Guys, if you saw what's in my fridge, I got 3 racks of ribs marinating in the Mojo. I got lamb. I got pork chops. I got bone-in pork chops. I got 8 pounds of pork butt with the skin. Woo!
That's a lot of meat, man. So what's the deal with pig on Media Noche?
It's medianoche, not media.
Medianoche.
Medianoche. You're such
Okay.
a gringo, bro.
So you're supposed
What's
to
the
eat
deal
all
with
the
pig?
pig?
It's just what Cubans do, bro.
Got it. This is when you roast it, you put it in the big black box, right? You go for it. You do the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
I'm not doing the whole pig. I'm just doing a paleta, which is what is referred to as just a shoulder. The Puerto
Got
Ricans would call something like that a pernil. Cubans don't call it that though.
You've done full pig before, though.
Oh yeah, I've gone full pig. I need
Yeah.
a new cajachina though. That's the problem. So I don't have my cajachina's busted.
But how about the Santa Claus rally? Are we going full bull or just the shoulder?
Ooh, I like that.
That's
Full
what I'm
bowl.
wondering.
Full bowl. Why
Full
don't we do a
bowl?
little state of the markets? Why don't we hit it?
All
The
right.
markets are moving. All right, ladies and gents, on the very first day of your Santa Claus rally period, which begins today, we've got the Dow futures doing nothing. 43,300 for the Dow, flat on the day. S&P's basically flat, just a tad above 6,040. NASDAQ 100 up close to 0.25%, not really doing much. Just under 21,800. Then you got 30-year bond futures flat at 113. You got crude oil up 1% at 70. We lost Steve there.
No, sorry, I'm here. Just looking
No,
at
all
the
good.
futures.
We got copper up 50 basis points, 410. Gold flat on the day, 26.25. Silver flat on the day, 30 and change. With the volatility index still close to 17. Over in funny money land, Bitcoin 95,000, pretty much flat on the day. Ethereum flat, 34.25. Solana flat, just under 200. Actually, Solana's up 2.5%, just under 200. Yeah. Binance 670, and total crypto market cap 3.27 trillion. Spencer Israel, how do we feel?
I don't know if we've seen the kind of rotation day that we had yesterday all cycle. So did you look through your crypto watch list yesterday? It's very strange. Bitcoin was getting rocked down a couple percent. It was down a couple $1,000s in the morning. Everything else was not just green across the screen, very green, up 5, 10, 15, 20%. So major profit taking day for Bitcoin. No?
Profit taking day?
I don't know how else to look at something like that, right? When Bitcoin is down big and all the other ones are up big. It reminds me of this summer, July, August, those days where they were selling the semiconductors, selling the mega caps really hard, and then everything else was working, right? We had these broad market up days, but the mags were down this summer. That's what it reminds me of yesterday with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the only thing down.
I was talking to Louis yesterday, and he's like, JC, you really think they're gonna buy this dip in crypto? And I'm like, I'm thinking less about crypto and I'm thinking more about the equities market. And if equities are getting a bid, is crypto not? So I'm kind of like reverse engineering what this looks like. If they buy them and they rally the equities into January, you think crypto's not?
No, I think crypto has to participate. But I wonder if Bitcoin just becomes the laggard vehicle, right? I think that would make.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess I'm saying cryptos in general.
Yeah.
I would assume in that environment that Bitcoin is the laggard vehicle. Yes, that's probably right.
But everybody's doing it right now. Everybody feels good. Everybody made money this year. Everybody wants to push these things in the year end. Michael Batnick just texted me. He said, failed breakdown in AMD getting involved. Everybody's doing it. The semiconductors are the trade right now. It's the only trade to make. There's nothing else to do. If you're not buying semiconductors hand over fist and betting that they end up looking more like software stocks and more like other tech stocks over the course of the next few weeks and months, I don't know what you're doing. To think that we could lose semiconductors in such a strong market, we just had a couple weeks of corrective action. This is the group of this cycle. I don't think we lose them. I think if you lose semis, you got to make the bet that you're going to lose everything. So
Throw
bull
up
market.
throw up slide 3 there, please, Spencer.
And they're working, JC. We're getting confirmation out here. NVIDIA, that's a failed top. Not only did it trigger, it confirmed. Next stop is our target.
If this top completes, bull market's canceled?
I think so. I would be more concerned. I think if that one completes, then you get a similar pattern that completes on an absolute basis. Then it's bull market canceled. So this is like step one. But we're not going there. I think that's a crazy place.
So I think I'm with Steve. I think they come in and buy them. I like the trades a lot. I'm in. And also, if semis go and the bull market is not canceled and rotation into high beta, which this is, actually continues into January, you're going to tell me cryptos are falling in price? No, you're getting another 300% in Fartcoin.
I think cryptos have experienced such a nice reset over the course of the last really 4 weeks now, right? Where you got this surge after the election and then just real high and tight. And then you got a shake since last week, right? Got some new multi-week lows on a lot of these things. And now that sets us up for the spring, right? A little shakeout before the breakout. And if you zoom out enough on these charts, structurally, or at least in terms of the primary trend, they all look great.
And I know you're not with the homies yet, but are you getting any normies asking you about crypto? I am not, and I'm talking with the types of normies that would ask me and have asked me at the worst times in prior cycles. Because one of my normies is a chef, and I was just like asking questions about pork yesterday because gringos use this with their pork, but Cubans never do. So I just had like a science question.
Yeah, well.
And no, not a single mention of cryptocurrencies. And this is the guy.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'm getting. That's interesting. I think that's probably what most people are experiencing right now. I'm getting some mixed results. I told you guys about how my golf buddies were all in after the election. They're already over it. They're already out. They're wiped out. They're done with it. Right. So they got in after the election, or they just started looking at their accounts again. And then a lot of these alts are down 30, 40%, right? Over the course of the past few weeks, they're done. They don't want to talk about it anymore. So I think that's probably healthy from a sentiment perspective. But no, I'm hearing very little still.
Let's go. I got 5 charts that I want to go over that I think are big ones here. These are the same 5 charts that I've been talking about for the last couple of months that were really focused on whether this is a bull market continuing or if this is a big whipsaw. The first, we'll start with the bad news and then we'll go to the good news. Bad news is look at transports.
Ugh. Too much.
The multi-year base and the trannies tried to break out, failed, and are now back below those levels. Does it mean it's over? Does it mean that this is a nasty failed breakout and now we crash, or is it just a false start? That's the question. What do you think it is, Steve?
When it comes to a chart like this, something that looks like this, you got to make a list. Because at least for me, this list is growing. It's growing too fast since last week, right?
How about when you go one by one and go through all 20 stocks in the Dow Jones Transportation Average? You think that's a good list to have?
Absolutely. Right. That could tell you if this failed breakout is actually probably.
I'll tell you this. I actually do that. And there's a lot of sideways trends, a lot of sideways messes, Expeditors, CSX, Uber. Norfolk Southern, Landstar. These are just like sideways messes, which that's what the index looks like. I would say that there are more uptrends in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, some sideways trends, but a lot more uptrends, which when you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average looks like that. So I'm telling you that when you weigh the evidence and you do a sum of the parts analysis for these indexes, what you see in the index, you're going to see a lot in the stocks themselves, and transports certainly show that. Next chart is the small caps, same exact thing. Tried to break out. So there's a small cap S&P 600. Tried to break out, failed. Does this fail or does this get going again, Strazza?
For now, it's a failure. And I think you make a list of the patterns that look like this. Metals and mining and materials, right?
Here's the thing about the metals and the mining. The metals and the mining failed to break out and then did really sell off. These have not.
Well, they were confirmed by a fast move to the downside, is I think what you're saying, right?
Metals and mining.
Yeah. 100%.
Correct. These have not.
Yeah, which is interesting. So you want to treat these a little bit differently for now. But I think you
All
can
right.
make a list right about now, JC, and then just start crossing them off.
Well, hold on.
as they
That's what
turn
I
into
did.
false
This is what I'm.
starts.
This is what I'm doing. There's 5 charts. Those are the first 2, and I didn't just come up with them this morning. These are the 5 charts that we've been watching really since pretty much since the election, right? Go to the next one. This one's Amazon. This is the largest retailer in the world. 22% of consumer discretionary, 5% of the Nasdaq. Breaking out of this
That's
multi-year
pretty.
base, new all-time highs, hanging in there just fine, right? So that's the good news. Next chart. Software.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Broke out of this base, made new all-time highs, and just consolidating. This looks a lot like Salesforce. Salesforce, part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, looks very much like this.
Sure.
Still well above those former highs, like Amazon. How do you feel?
I think it's a great list, JC. If I could add one.
Hold on, I got one more. I got one more.
Oh, okay.
There is one more.
Right.
Next chart. And there's
wow.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Hey,
same thing.
So if you change this up just a little bit, right? This is fascinating. Because you got the tech and you got the crypto. Now, if I said let's substitute, let's remove software and throw in equal weight semis. Then you got another bearish chart that looks more like the small caps and the transport XSD, right? You got that false start back in the box. And then if I said for crypto, instead of Bitcoin, let's do a Solana. This list would look very different. That's interesting. I would add those 2.
Well, you can add as many as you want. We live in this great country of America.
I would add XSD, maybe not Solana.
Can you summarize what you guys were saying for a second? Like, JC, what is all this
what
mean?
Strazza is trying to say is,
no, I like this list.
Not that he's saying that I'm cherry picking, because I'm not. These are valid. But what he's saying is, if you were to do a little switcheroo and switch Solana for Bitcoin, Solana hasn't broken out yet or tried to and failed. So Solana is still in the small cap tranny camp. And if you substitute instead of software, look at an equally weighted index of semiconductors, which has yet to break out. You know, again, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't agree with that. He's making some good points, but you know, Strazza is the one who's always pounding the table that semiconductors are market cap weighted for a reason. Some of these big ones really dominate the space. And now when it's convenient for him to bring up the equally weighted version to make the point, now he's totally forgetting about that part. How close am I, Strazza?
You know, things change, and you got to keep an open mind.
You got me. Damn it.
No, well, things change. And now the problem is that the cap-weighted semiconductor index is just being driven way too much by AI. Right? It's the Broadcom and the NVIDIA doing all the driving. Sometimes you kind of want to know what's going on in the broader space.
Can you tell me what when I was in Disney World, did Broadcom come out like cure cancer or something? What happened?
Yeah, Broadcom broke Wall Street again.
Oh yeah, you missed it. And Broadcom is in the Mag 8 now. That's what it is.
It's a $1 trillion stock officially.
Yeah.
People are telling me, JC, that this stock is so expensive. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Whenever I hear that, it catches me. You know, when people say, no, that's crazy, you can't buy that here. It's like,
that's when you buy more.
Yeah, it's like NVIDIA in May of 2023. Great.
Dude, I can't tell you.
It's like Palantir last year.
Let me tell you something. In my investment banking days, I can't tell you how many secondaries I helped issue for Avco, for Broadcom, for what is Broadcom today. So this must have been like 2011.
That's awesome.
2010, 2011. Dude, these guys were issuing secondaries like once a week. I'm not even exaggerating. It was crazy.
If there's a market for it.
Started. When people tell you that, though, right, that evaluation is crazy, what it usually means or alludes to is that they can't wrap their head around it.
They can't wrap their head around it, and they missed it.
Yes, they missed it. They missed it.
You know, some of these stories just shouldn't be valued. They can't be. We don't know what the total addressable market is for AI yet, right? Don't tell me about NVIDIA's PE. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The growth is great for now, right? It's just too hard. You can't put a multiple on a company.
PE, Tesla's PE. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, exactly? Tesla, NVIDIA.
How do you put a multiple? I've ever heard.
How do you put a multiple?
You know what these meatheads tried to tell me this summer when we were buying Tesla, that they were not going to meet their auto manufacturing.
Right, like they're a car company, as if they're a car company.
They're not going to meet the quotas. They're not going to make the quotas, JC. Oh my God, you can't make this shit up. Can you throw up slide 2, Spencer? If anybody missed last night's conference call, We had 175 charts, in case anybody's wondering. Far exceeded the over. I didn't even have to try. But I kind of cheated because we had all 30 Dow components. We had the 20 trannies. So there's 50 charts right there.
Oh, you really went
through
through
Some of them
it.
came along with multiple. So that's 60 just with that one exercise.
You know,
So if you
breakouts
want to
or
drop the
fakeouts.
link there, Spencer, in case anybody missed it. Guys, last night, this was it. We went over all of our favorite trades. We went over we did the whole top-down approach. We dove into the Dow transports and the industrials. There's opportunities in growth stocks. Steve Strazza got a couple of shout-outs.
Wow. You know, breakouts or fakeouts, I think, is such a big theme right now because it is mixed. It's mixed, just like we were talking about with the Bitcoin, Solana, the semiconductors, the software. It's been a sloppy, it's been a dirty December. You know, it's been a dirty December. It really has. So
I feel good. I feel clean. I have so much pork marinating in my refrigerator right now.
You do like you put like a sauce on it. You do like a mojo pork. What do you put on it?
Yeah, you marinate it in the mojo, and then the skin. You take the skin completely off, put it on a tray, wide open, just with salt. Dry the crap out of it.
Oh, that's
so you
awesome.
get that nice crispy skin.
Wait, can I ask? This is now the second time today, and I don't know.
Pork.
What is mojo?
Mojo?
You keep saying mojo.
Yeah, we call it mojo, but it's mojo is what it is.
What is it?
It's just a nice pork that Cubans make. It's at every restaurant.
No, it's right? It's got like no, mojo is like the juice, like the marinating juice. So it's got like naranja agria, which is like a sour orange, and like lemon. I think it's lime and garlic, and I throw onions in there.
You know, outside of like some special beef, pork has the nicest fats. Pork has
funny
great
it's
fat.
funny that you said that because my daughter and I have been having this conversation about protein fat quite a bit because she's totally into it now. And I've had this discussion with people where the pork fat might be better than the cow fat.
Yes.
And, you know, I almost feel guilty saying that, but a lot of people will agree with that.
Dude, I'm there with you. I'm on board. 100%.
A lot of people agree that the pork fat is better than the beef fat. And, man, I don't know. I think it might be.
Don't write off pork. Pork is underrated.
I'm Cuban, B.
Pork is, you know, I like it.
You know,
all right.
That's what it is.
This has been fun, guys.
All right, Strazza, listen, we know you're on the road. You want to give some final thoughts here before you take off? Any words of wisdom before Big Noche Buena on Christmas?
No, I'm expecting Santa to come to town, but I really just want to, take a minute to say thank you, everybody who watches the show every day and supports us now for 2 years. It's our second Christmas. It's been so much fun. We couldn't do the show without you. The holidays are such a nice time. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody, and thanks for all your support.
Steve Strazza, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for him, y'all.
From a Marriott parking lot.
I like how he didn't dox himself from an undisclosed Marriott parking lot.
Dedication right there. Real fast, before we move on, JC mentioned AAC Premium. If you are not a member of AAC Premium and you want to get involved, if it were me, I would scan the QR code on the screen. We've got a Santa rally. The Santa rally or Santa Claus rally, whatever. The Santa rally offer that's running today until basically for the end of the year, right? This is the end of the year thing. $500 off new annual memberships to AAC Premium. If you're not involved, this is the time to get involved. Scan the code on the screen, get involved, get last night's conference call, all the charts, the whole thing, and you'll be happy. That's what I got. Link is in chat as well.
Fantastic night last night. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And for those who have yet to watch, give it a watch. Let me know what you think.
Yep. I don't think PSA. I don't think we sent out the replay yet. We'll do that after the show. So.
Replay went out last night.
Oh, did it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually check to see if it went out. Okay. Cool.
Oh, did it not go out? I thought it went out.
I didn't send it out.
Oh no, I didn't send it out either.
Oh, okay, so no one sent it out. All right, we'll send it out this morning.
It's on the site though.
That's all right. It's on the site. Okay. Cool. 8:55. We have the Warlock in the house.
Bring him out.
So let's get the Warlock on the show. And do Warlock celebrate Christmas? I don't know. We'll find out.
Woo! Yeah. It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my cloth, they tuck it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Oh, does the Warlock celebrate Christmas?
Yes, today's my favorite day of the year.
And why is Noche Buena your favorite day of the year?
We get the 7 fishes, and my sister-in-law does a really good job at it. So I don't eat till 5 o'clock today, and then I eat until I pass out.
So this is how you're like a real pizza bagel?
I am.
Yeah.
And I actually
So
make
this
the
is what pizza
lasagna.
bagels
I
do?
make the lasagna in the family. Aunt Aggie taught me how to cook about 15 years ago, and I stole a recipe. So now I'm the lasagna king of the family. That's
Pizza
for
bagel.
tomorrow.
That's good.
I love it. I love it. Kenny, so today we got a half dayer, just a half-ass trading day in the market. No big deal.
Yeah.
How do you treat this any differently than you would other days?
Well, if you read the email, and by the way, guys, make sure you're on my email list. I send something out each morning, but now I'm going to start sending out in the middle of the day to make sure you guys are paying attention. So the trade's been the same thing since Wednesday at 8:30. Long the Qs, short UVXY. We walked in today. We bought some call spreads for the overnight, and we're still short UVXY. So we're just playing the Santa Claus rally as closely as you can be. Play the market instead of trying to find individual stocks this week. Just play the QQQ. It is the strongest part of the market, and you just enjoy it. So I'm thinking we get back to about 525 right before the open. We got some 422, 426 calls on for the QQQ, and we're just going to ride this train until the wheels fall off, as the kids say. Or do the kids say that? I don't know.
They used to say that.
They used to say that back in the 70s, I guess, right?
Any good bets on some of these football games? Any locks?
Well, you know what? I can't wait for the Notre Dame Georgia game, obviously, but I still got to I'm going to take the Ravens. They're starting to they're not choking right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. I think they're going to kill. I think they're playing the Texans. That shouldn't even be a game. Hopefully, Lamar stomps all over Mr. Stroud over there, but looking forward to it. But yeah, holiday shortened day. Generally you want to make the money before 11 o'clock all the time, but today definitely before 11 o'clock because there is no afternoon. So
and then that last hour and a half of a half day dead zone.
Yeah. You get some tomfoolery there at the end near the close with some imbalances, but yeah, normally we're just gonna start drinking at 1, but by 1 o'clock. So
what are you drinking?
I'm gonna go. I got a new tequila, so I got a new reposado that everybody was telling me about. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about. Let me see what the name is. Maybe if you guys know your reposados, anybody have any recommendations? I'm a big fan of Don Julio, but I'm looking for something else. What was the name of this one? If you guys know. Oh no, I lost the website. Forget it. But yeah, reposados generally.
I gave you a shout out. I gave you a shout out yesterday on the conference call. Throw up slide 3, please, Mr. Spencer Israel, if you will.
By the way, the hat moves. Oh wait.
So I called this out yesterday, the Roblox, as a classic Kenny Glick, Andy Dufresne pattern. How am I doing?
Yeah, you know what? That was on our list too. Yeah, I like the Roblox. That tried to come out about a year and a half ago. It was kind of a fail, but that looks much better now. We're running out of these. We're running out of Andy Dufresne's. We need more days like Wednesday.
Well, I mean, you're going to find more Andy Dufresne's in markets where you're coming out of bear markets. You're coming out, right? So I mean, there's a time and a place. Andy Dufresne shows up more often in certain environments than others. It's just a function of what it is.
True. Well, I'm looking forward to some more volatility.
I like how I'm teaching the guy who invented the Andy Dufresne how this works.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, we need a nice prolonged bull bear market to start setting these trades up again.
Bear markets are great. Recessions are a choice for a lot of people. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Exactly.
And Kenny Glick, you're doing the tequila. We're doing a southern France day today. So just like a lot of Chateauneuf du Pape, Côte de Rhône, Gigondas, Vaccaret, like all that stuff.
You fancy. You got to get something for my
It's not
wife.
that fancy.
She still drinks the wines, so she's a big wine drinker. But today she goes in Cosmos, so maybe I get lucky tonight. Nah, chances.
Hey, now here we go.
Nah,
Keep your hat on.
yeah. I got a roof here if that was the case.
Guys, listen up. Today is our last morning show of the week, so it's my last chance to say this. But Kenny's room is going to be open to the public, to the people.
To the people.
He's going to the people. Is it Thursday or Friday or just Friday, Kenny?
Well, I'll be here Thursday. I don't know how long of a day it's gonna be, but Friday I'll be here all day, and then we're gonna do Monday, Tuesday also. So Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
So here's the move. We are sending emails out about this. That's the best way to find out. If you are not on Kenny's free list, hit thebid.com. You just scroll down. There's a little box there. Enter your email. Get on Kenny's free list. We are sending emails about how to join Kenny's room for free Friday and then next week. We're talking about his screen. We're also talking about the chat room. It's going to be open for you. So get on the email list now so you get alerted to it when we tell you later on this week and next week. So that's the move. Okay?
Right on. Hey, listen, also Friday, considering it should be a slow day, I'm planning on doing like a makeshift class. Usually I do this on a Saturday for a couple hours. I'm probably going to do it Friday between 12 and 2. And if there is anything going on, we'll hang out to the end of the day. Usually that's another dead day. But yeah, take a chance to get involved in the room. I'll show you what, all my Andy Dufresne's and Kardashian bottoms and all the VWAP trades that I've been doing all year, and get ready for earnings season. It's coming in the next 2 weeks. So
that's
prepare.
True.
This is your time.
We will simulcast on YouTube, but if you want to actually get into the room and get into the chat room, you can do. We've never done that before. You can do that, but get on his list. Okay, hit thebid.com. Get on his list, and that's how you'll get invited into the room for free on Friday.
Right on.
Kenny, we'll see you there.
All right.
And Merry Christmas, man. Enjoy the holiday. Enjoy your tequila.
Thank you. You guys too. Be safe, everybody. I'll see you in the chat room.
Kenny, God bless. Love you,
man.
All right.
Kenny Glick, what a legend. People love Kenny.
So I didn't plan this, but we've got, two Jews on the show today. Oh, it is Hanukkah Eve as well. We got Kenny and we got Jeff.
Jew.
What?
Kenny's a Jew.
I know, Kenny and Jeff Weiss. So I didn't plan that. This is kind of how it happened. Anyway, we have Jeff here, and he was kind enough to send over a few charts. So let's bring Jeff Weiss on the show, and then we'll, talk about it and have some fun, get involved. All right?
Let's do it. Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Jeff Weiss, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, my friend?
I'm very proud of you, my friend. I just want to wish you, Morgan, the twins and the non-twin, the greatest holiday ever. On your new arrival to be Spencer, I couldn't be happier for you. And to both of you, all good things. And JC, I'm just what you've accomplished is fantastic. You're the future. But
it's a scary thought, Jeff. It's a scary thought, my friend.
I'm a little depressed because I went to turn on Highway Patrol today with Broderick Crawford in 1956, and I'm watching a rerun of Ozzie and Harriet. I mean, and so what they did is they cut Highway Patrol only a half hour, but Dragnet is still on for an hour. So I just wanted to clarify that as I go into this
love Dragnet. Just the facts, right? What is it? Just the facts? What is it?
Just the facts. I mean, they have Dragnet 69 and 70, but Highway Patrol with Broderick Crawford is the absolute best. The song, the commentator, it's great.
Jeff, the kids don't know what the hell you're talking about, my friend.
Yeah, and also I watch Westerns. I watch more Westerns than any other American alive today. But, that's the beauty, I guess, of how we grew up.
Quite the accomplishment, Jeff.
In my generation.
Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. Because
I've been taking steps back all my life. Let's go ahead.
Hold on. So Jeff, people who might not know Jeff Weiss. Jeff Weiss is a legend. I have my favorite technicians that I grew up learning from. Jeff is their favorite technician. So like when your favorite technicians talk about their favorite technicians, they talk about Jeff Weiss, right? So like my mentors, Jeff was their mentor. Like this is what we're talking about. He looks He looks like a young man. You look great, Jeff. But you've been around the block for a minute.
68, 55 years investing, and 46 in the business. I got registered at Dean Witter. Went to an advisory firm called Indicator Digest, which was almost as big as Value Line at one point. Then I went over and actually I was a broker at Dean Witter. Then I ran technical research at UBS, Payne Weber, and Lehman. And I started with the legendary Newton Zinder at E.F. Hutton, who took over for a guy named Joe Granville, possibly the greatest showman ever in the brokerage business.
I have a question. If we can bring up slide 13, this is a triple pane chart. Jeff, is this a case of the good?
I only sent you 4 charts. How could that be charts there 13?
Hold on. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Is that what this is?
I'll never disagree with you, but basically what this is a shorter term chart, and I believe a person has to know their weakness. And if I had to depend on my short term trading, I would be doing this from a tent community somewhere, south of Perth Amboy, New Jersey. So I just did this to illustrate, and as you see from the disclaimer up there, you have to talk to your financial advisor, accountant, whatever, whoever, because these are purely for illustrative purposes or are not to be construed as any specific recommendation. So those arrows are the upside gaps in those 3 measures, the Dow in the middle in pink, the iShares Russell 3000 ETF at the bottom, and the S&P on top. You'll notice that after that precipitous decline several days ago to the tune of over 1,000 Dow points, we did nothing the next day. Then we had a reasonable rally. We had an outside day in those indices. A little to the positive side because we closed closer to the high than the low, and now we're kind of sitting tight. So if I were a short-term trader, I would want to just note where those gaps are. The Dow has actually filled its in. The other 2 indices have not. So let's see what can happen now. But I think the other 3 charts take a step back and we look at an aerial view. And that's what, if we have time, I'd love to concentrate on, Spence.
Yeah, go for it, Jeff.
Yeah, so Fonz, that'd be slide 10. Let's start there.
And by the way, my wife, who's sitting next to me, Carrie, give a shout out.
Hello.
Carrie.
What's up, Carrie? How you doing?
Carrie grew up in the south of France, so our friend owns a place called Le Gardine, which is in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. In that region, it's a vineyard. It's a vineyard. I've been corrected, as I often am.
Tell her I just had a Chateauneuf that was 100% Grenache like a couple weeks ago.
What do you think?
You tried it?
Yeah, he's a sommelier.
Was it good?
Let me get through the charts because there may be some non-drinkers in the audience. So I already showed this chart the last time, or a variation of it. It basically that line shows the area that where the base was, and the base is roughly, let's call it 3,600 to 4,800. We talked about if we kind of break out of that, and that 1,200 points added on to that area just under 4,800, gave us something to either side of 6,000, which we have met. And you could see how we met it by the green shaded box right there in the upper right-hand corner. So on a measured move basis, the market did fulfill it's an intermediate term measurement. Thanks for zooming in on that. And let's go to the next chart if we can. And the next chart.
Jeff Weiss, love the energy coming in hot this morning.
Oh, by the way, this chart, thank you. I'm trying. No, I don't want more coffee, honey. The 2 pink. Pick up your head, Spencer. You're gonna be a dad. You're gonna have a lot of embarrassing moments. These 2 pink arrows. One is at 58.64 weekly close. One is at 58.70 weekly close. You'll see the 2 blue arrows showing the top areas, the breakout, the rally tour of that, roughly 1,200 points, maybe a little more, up just past 6,000. And those two arrows show that 58, 60, 70 area. If we have a weekly close below it, I think what JC mentioned last night about 5,600, I believe you mentioned that, JC, or 560.
Somebody was paying attention. I see you,
I
dog.
I do. Well, yeah. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I grew up with a guy named Dan Sullivan. He's probably almost 90 now. He has a company called The Chartist. I said to Spencer, outside of Dan, I've been watching him for what, 45 years. You're the only person I even give a look to because of the way you look at the work, the way you look at the world, and the way you step back and go out 5, 10, 12, 15 years, which is where you make money. One of those winners pays for 10 losers. In this business, you could be right 9 out of 10 times and lose money if you can't stop a cut from becoming a hemorrhage and it turns into an amputation.
That's right.
What?
Get back to the subject.
Oh, yes. Okay. Carrie, I said you could sit in here.
Back to the chart, please.
Take over. Carrie, there's only please.
Stay focused, Jeff. Listen to your wife. She knows.
All right. So that's chart number 2. Can we go to chart number 3? I think it's the iShares Russell 3000 ETF. Is that it? Yes. I wanted to just note, where is that line now? I had it written down. You see all these arrows are the first two, the down arrows, straight lines, are weekly closing highs. Then what we have are 2 other weekly closing highs with the arrows. One goes down to the right and one goes down to the left, and just below that line. Then after getting above the line, we come back, and where do we test? We test the line right on the dot. I can't quite make out what that is. Can you make it bigger, Spence?
Yeah, let's see what we got.
I just want to. Yeah, it looks like it's
about 325.
Yeah, like maybe 328, 9. I always give things an extra percent or two, depending. The market, investing is not a science. It's an art, in my opinion. So people who tend to be exact, who need to sell a stock exactly where they bought it to break even, these are things that you have to cure yourself of as we go into 2025, because it's just not going to work being exact. The stock market, is you're about to break even, the stock knows what you paid for it. And very often it's not going to have you're not going to have any chance to break even because the stock knows what you paid for it. So remember, selling a stock at 90 is the same as selling it at 91 if 91 is your original cost. Worry about the downside. Don't worry about the upside. That'll take care of itself. And the reverse is true in a bear market. So I think this chart goes back a ways now. So this is important because you're talking about a broad-based average that has responded to the medication of that trend line, and different stocks respond to different moving averages. So I'm a believer in creating moving averages for different stocks, not just using a one-size-fits-all approach. And this chart and this line, I think, are, one of the important pillars to the bullish case.
The chat is loving this, by the way, Jeff.
Well, thank you. And by the way, thank you all. It's folks like you and all the 20,000 FAs I've had the privilege of serving over my career. I've just been lucky, and I thank you. And I'll just mention in this holiday season, your health is your wealth. Keep well, keep healthy, eat well. Put yourself in a position, to be successful. It's not just financial; it's other things we do.
Jeff, the chat is loving it. They want you to be a recurring guest, but only if your wife is yelling at you throughout the interview, because that adds extra color commentary. She's fantastic. She's the real star of the show here. There she is.
I met her through a New York magazine.
Okay, that's enough.
I met her through a New York magazine personally, and I wanted to meet someone who can enjoy a burger at White Castle as much as a stroll on white sand, as long as she's happy. And she was my 52nd response.
Let me say that again. Jeff met his wife through a magazine.
Yes.
Wanted. like a classified.
$336.
It was Hinge of the 80s. It was the New York Magazine personal ads.
This is
There we
great.
go.
We actually paid for the subsubscription for the magazine. That was amazing.
All right.
Have
All
a
right.
nice holiday.
All right. They
Gary,
can't
what's
make
your
money
favorite
based upon
Roan
the-
crew?
But she's great.
What's
She's
your
done
favorite
stand up.
Roan? What's
What?
your favorite Roan crew?
What's your favorite Roan
Crew.
crew?
I'm not an expert. I prefer rosé.
Oh,
That's all right. Provence works. That's cool. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived in Provence, so I tend to like rosé in the summertime.
All right.
But yeah, I also like, what else do I like? I like gigondas.
Gigondas. That's my favorite. Yes. Let's
Okay.
go.
all right.
Carrie.
It's just-
I love the Gigondas. Nice, Carrie. Jeff, give us. I need a story out of Jeff. Jeff's been around. Jeff, first of all,
69.
Jeff's
My
new
bar
to,
mitzvah, and he's 69.
Jeff's new
That's
to
when I started.
computers, right? So what did you guys used to do before computers? Like
I'll
would
show
get
you.
pencils,
Oh,
like
okay.
crayons.
He's gone.
I still
he's
do it. This is my daily sheet. Just little diffusion index. Little diffusion indexes. I just write down some stuff. 1 page for the daily, 1 page for the weekly. I started in 1977. The 13-day moving average of downside volume as a percent of total volume recently got to around 62, 63% before that last rally, which shows people were getting antsy, but I've seen it up, closer to 70%. And also whenever I see new lows or new highs as a percentage of total issues traded get really skewed, and it's too easy for the bulls or bears to make money, that's when you want to start looking for a reversal. So we've had times when we've had over half of all stocks traded on a weekly basis making new lows. You'll almost never see that on new highs because stocks something falls of its own free weight, but it takes thrust to push something up. And that's, of course, the law of gravity, why stocks fall much faster than they go up. And I just want to say, as we approach the next year, one thing I cured myself of many years ago, this is financially speaking, I don't want to get into everything else, is that, well, I buy stocks according to potential, not according to price. That's very, very important. And I also did a piece a while back on 15 for 15. It was 15 rules that I lived by for 2015. One of the things I never do is worry when stock's going down and it breaks. I used to hear all the time, but Jeff, it's going down on light volume. It doesn't matter whether a 100-pound anvil falls on your head or 1,000-pound, it's going to hurt you. Okay? I just thought of that. Not bad, right? So the bottom line is stocks can fall on light volume. So if you think losing money is euphoric because the stock's going down, but don't worry, it's not on light volume. What happens when volume really does come in if the stock's falling already on light volume and breaks a key trend line, a 50% retracement area, a horizontal line, a head and shoulders pattern, an upslanting wedge? You have to look out for this stuff. So the most important thing I look at first is really is price, is really price.
Jeff, what was the world like before they traded options? Like there was no options. You couldn't just buy calls or puts. There was no put call ratio. There was no VIX. What does the world, this is what, 1976? Do I have that right?
Yeah, let's see. Puts and calls in January 73, I believe they issued 10, IBM and 9 others. I was in a Merrill Lynch office locally, and this Russian guy named Walter with these green tinted glasses and a cigarette that he'd smoke like this said, "I teach you in the money and out of the money." And that was the basic. I'll never forget that. That was the start of options trading. Before that, you had companies like Ragnar, RAGNAR, puts and calls, where they would advertise. There'd be this little box in Barron's, and it would say, for instance, Mattel. That was the first stock I owned in '69. It would say $180 call in the strike price, and you would actually call them, pay them 180 or 210 or whatever was dollars for a set amount of time for a put or a call. And then options started in 73, I believe, in January, and now we're looking at the non-fungible tokens and all these other things.
Were people afraid of him? Were they like, oh my God, this is going to ruin the financial system? Like, were they afraid of it, or was it embraced?
They weren't afraid, but I think that's a good question. You always ask good questions. I wish my IQ of 94 justified your good questions, but it will be 100 by the next time we're on. People weren't afraid, but my first one, I believe, was General Motors, and everything, remember, was traded in eighths. And when something got an eighth, the stock would say 8 and it got 8 1/8, people would yell at the brokerage firm. They'd scream, tail, tail. It meant the stock had a tail on it. Of course, they like to scream, but it really didn't mean anything technically.
So once you got an eighth, you were probably going to get a quarter, a half.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I remember my first 1,000-share order was Annixter Brothers. I put it in with Edwards and Hanley. I actually saw the 1,000 come by at 7. I stood up at Edwards and Hanley from my leather chair and I said, "That's my trade." I screamed at the entire 70 brokers, 30 people at the visitors gallery. Everyone heard it. It was one of the greatest moments of my life. And also in January 73, American Motors traded a 5 million share block, representing a third of the volume on the New York Stock Exchange at 13 3/8. And from there, the company that made the Javelin, the Ambassador, the Javelin X, the Gremlin, where I once put my foot on a bumper in the showroom and the bumper fell off. Can't give it much credit for having a good crash test, I would assume. The Pacer, the Matador, the best names. Next thing I know, company's bankrupt. So, and I'll never forget that 5 million share trade at the top tick.
That's my trade.
Yeah. And what about Nortec on the American Stock Exchange? The flip and sip. Remember when it was a straw? It was a thing where you open it up and a straw pops out, so you don't have to, like today, put the straw in that little tinfoily thing.
It sounds like a great idea.
What?
It sounds like a great idea.
It is, but the stock was like, at the time it was 14 and change. I mean, and Butte's Gas and Oil, they called it bingo. I mean, these were great times, but those were the Kodaks, the Polaroids. A blue chip is anything that makes you money if you own it, and not the name of a specific company. I hear people talking about earnings season. I even know what earnings season is. A PE used to be Philadelphia Electric. So when people ask me what I thought about PEs, I said, we have to look at the utility sector. They say, no. I want to talk about price earnings ratios. I said, I don't even know what that is. I don't even understand why stocks don't sell based upon what they're earning, why there has to be a multiple. I know nothing about this, but I majored in economics. I lecture on behavioral finance. But to me, you have to cut out the middle person. And if you want to go out with someone, you don't go out with their brothers and sisters. You go out with them. If you want to see what the stock's doing, you don't need to look at the company. You look at the stock. Cut out everything. Go straight to the source.
Wise words. Jeff Weiss.
In case anybody was wondering why Jeff Weiss is such a legend, well, I mean,
there you
Jeff,
go.
We get you on small doses. How does your wife deal with you every day?
Valium in my coffee.
All right.
And we were out. We go out, and someone will say, "Wow, he's wound up. What do you do with him?" She goes, "No, they let him out once a month," and everyone laughs. And then, as we're paying the bill, they come up. They go, "Where do they let you out from?" I go, "She's just kidding." They go, "No. Tell me, it's okay." They actually, They actually believe it, but you love life. I'm lucky I been in this business. Thank you for your kind words. And the book, Relationship Investing, Stock Market Therapy for Your Money, is out. My second one's a few years behind, but weissspeaks.com, 3 S's in the middle, one at the end is my website. I'm not making anything, from the site or anything. So I just say it. Maybe you could read some stuff about me, and if there's maybe someday you do something and I speak to your great listeners and all. I'm at the stage in my life where, of course I want to be doing things, but you also want to give back more and more and more. So being on your show and being able to do things like this is heartfelt in a way that I can't even express in the time we have. And to those of you, tomorrow night to start Hanukkah and tonight beginning Christmas, I just love laughter, health, and happiness, and everything to your families. And I'll just sign off by saying, when you invest, always think about the worst case. Whenever I buy a stock, it's always, as I said last time, I have in red loss, then I have short-term loss. Everything's in red. I almost never trade options, but when I do, I write expired as soon as the order gets executed, because I assume it's going to be worth zero. And that's how I make sure I'm not, throwing, much money into anything. Although I will make I believe you can make, good bets in the market. But to me, it's always been with stocks, because that's how I grew up.
Right. All right, Jeff, happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Thank you to you and your audience.
We'll talk to you next year. This has been, it's always a joy, always a pleasure. And I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say.
We'll see you next month. There's an invite in the mail for you,
I
Jeff.
would be honored. And Spencer and I, have been getting together on the side at a place called First Watch.
Oh, I hear.
Yeah, JC, I'm hopefully going to get up to Bethlehem to see you and my buddy Sam Stovall, who was one of the elves, Robert Stovall's sons. So I want to get up there with you again and have one of those great Caesar salads at the Bethlehem Hotel. In the meantime,
we could do better than that place, Jeff. We could do better.
All right. We can. I'll take the Caesar salad from there and bring it to a nice place. I'll get it to go.
Jeff, thanks a lot, Jeff.
All good things. Thank you for having me on. To Steve Strazza and the rest of your folks, Phil Perlman, all good things.
All right.
See you later, Carrie.
Okay.
If you all are wondering what it's like to go out to eat with Jeff, he's the kind of person that is by the end of the meal, he's on a first name basis with like half the staff, right? Like that's what it's like, right? Anyway, that was wonderful. Talk about
dude knows where all the kosher steakhouses are. Kosher steakhouses are legit, and here's my theory as to why kosher steakhouses are so legit. Because it's such a pain. It's such a pain in the ass to have a kosher kitchen that if you're going to go through all that trouble, the food may as well be really good. Like if you're going to go through all that trouble,
it's a gigantic pain in the ass. Yes.
It's a gigantic pain in the ass. So if you're going to go through all that trouble, like the food has to be good, right? So like every time I go to kosher steakhouses, and it might not be all the kosher steakhouses, but at least the ones that I've been taking to, I always have an excellent meal. Just an FYI.
All right. It is 9:28. Well, let's hop out early. It's Christmas Eve. It's a short day for the market. It's a quiet day, at least so far. Who's not having a good morning is American Airlines. I know they had an issue that it's since been resolved, man. But for 2 hours this morning, they had all flights nationwide grounded. Pretty eventful pre-market session for American, but it's back now. So
stocks up 2%. Stocks up 2% and making new 52-week highs. So nobody feels bad for American Airlines at all.
They felt bad a couple hours ago. Not so bad now. Okay, so like I said, once again, obviously no show tomorrow. Duh. And then no shows the rest of the week. We will have Kenny simulcasting on the channel from his room. That'll be Thursday and Friday. We're going to open the room up. We are doing chart requests live. At least that's the plan on Thursday, and like we normally do. And normal programming Thursday and Friday, with the exception of no morning show.
Watch last night's call. Last night's call is a big one. Last one of the year. It's a big one.
Once again, if you are not involved with ASC Premium, where the conference calls happen, you should get involved. now is the time to do so. There is a link in, you know what, I'll put the link in the chat one more time, actually, because I want to re-up it. So let's put the link in the chat. There it is. It's also on the screen. Santa Claus Rally offer, $500 off new annual memberships to ASC Premium. Get JC's work, get the work from all the analyst team, the conference calls, the scans, the 2 to 100, Gold Rush, all the things, right? That are part of ASC Premium. You won't regret that. And on that note, let's get out of here. So thank you, Jeff. It's always a treat to talk to him. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, chat. Everyone, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, happy everything. We'll talk to you guys next week. Right? We will be back. We are doing shows. At least that is the plan. Do shows next week before the new year. So we'll see you guys then. And thanks for watching. And enjoy your holiday, everyone. All right.
Happy Noche Buena. Eat a lot of pork.
Oh, that too. Happy. I learned something new today. Happy Noche Buena, everyone.
Happy Noche Buena. It's a great day.
I'll make some money.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it